A graphic organizer is a tool that can help you organize information that follows a specific text structure. We will now introduce a graphic organizer that can be used specifically in a problem solution text structure. The components of a problem solution text structure can be outlined using a graphic organizer to support main ideas as well as major influences. This is an example of such a graphic organizer. The purpose of the graphic organizer is to structure thinking as you're reading. Using a graphic organizer typically requires you to read through the passage more than one time so that you can think about the passage in addition to locating the most important information to put in your graphic organizer. Therefore, when reading text that has a problem solution text structure, it is recommended that you take two passes through the reading, with the first to orient yourself to the problem, solution, and result, and the second to gain more details about the problem and solution. As we read through the material, you will have to vary your speed and thoroughness based on how much you already know about the passage. Therefore, it's expected that your first pass through the reading will be much more thorough than your second pass. Next, I will explain the graphic organizer as it relates to the key components of a problem solution text structure using an example. Problem solution text can be organized in a variety of ways. Sometimes the problem is stated first in the text, followed later by the solution, and sometimes the solution is stated first. During your first reading of the text, look for the key words and ideas that contribute to finding the main ideas about what the problem, solution, and results are. For example, if you were reading a passage about graduation rates at four-year colleges, we might read that the key issue for colleges is that only about 40% of students in the STEM sciences graduate. We know this is a problem statement as the passage outlines the impact of this problem and also considers it an issue. The passage may also state solutions to increase graduation rates. For example, you might read on to find out that the school implemented learning communities which resulted in 25% higher graduation rates. These become our solution and our results. Once the problem, solution, and results are identified, it's important to read or skim the passage a second time, looking for influences on the problem and solution. Influence contribute to understanding of other factors that play a role in the problem and solution. After our first pass, for example, we may be wondering why learning communities work. So, on our second pass through the reading, we look for the influences to the problem and how this links to the solution. In our example, we could maybe see that when considering the problem of low graduation rates, research shows that students in STEM have difficulty during their first year as they don't find that their gen eds are relevant and they find STEM faculty unwelcoming. We also read key information leading to this solution, such as university data showing that problems and challenges that first-year students have. These help us better understand our problem and our solution. Lastly, we want to consider this problem, solution, and result as a whole and make some inferences about why this is a problem and why this might be a good solution. In our example, we might hypothesize that dropping out of college leads to fewer career options, student debt, and reduced wages, and that learning communities as a solution is good because it addresses student challenges that lead to dropout. Finally, we want to consider why this problem and solution are important overall. For our example, in addition to improved graduation rates, we can speculate that programs would also likely see improvements overall in STEM education. So, in review, We use the graphic organizer in the first pass to consider the problem, solution, and result, and during the second pass to look for nuances that influence the main components of the text structure. Just as the graphic organizer can be used to understand content in reading, it can also be used as a tool in organizing your thinking for studying, as well as to organize a written summary of reading. Next, we'll use what we've learned about the problem solution text structure as we read a passage about poverty. You will have an opportunity to identify the key components of the problem solution text, and we will complete a graphic organizer together. You will want to have a pencil and paper available to use during this practice session.